I think my process now is definitely a lot looser than it used to be. And I think that, especially as a performer, has helped me grow so much because I'm finding these new things that I'm doing every time I get on stage. And it's really interesting, like when my friends will come to my shows and they know my material so well because they've seen me do it so many times. But then when they come and now they are like seeing me do it in front of different people, they're like, oh, like you did this really great new thing on this bit. Like I hadn't seen that before. And I think that those moments are happening way more than they used to. Incredible self-realization of a path, right? Like I saw the yellow brick road in a way and I was like, oh, like I have something that I can follow. And to me, following that thing was like pursuing something that I was genuinely so passionate about.
Max Weiner. Max is a Weiner on social media. That's Winer. Again, a 24-year-old comedian hailing from New York. How is your stand-up personally valuable to you, and how does it move you when you're doing all of that?
It could be definitely a crazy thing to hear that stand-up comedy is therapy, because I think that to a lot of people, getting up in front of a crowd and doing any sort of speaking is a genuine fear. It's definitely a little nerve-wracking, but I think that when you distill it to what it is, especially for me, and I realized this pretty early on when I started doing it, I think that it was a way for me to express my voice. And I think that a lot of me figuring out who I was as a person came on stage, whether it be even doing theater in high school and in college and doing improv comedy and doing stand-up. I think that it triggers a different kind of response in your body when you have to get up in front of people and entertain them. And I think that stand-up comedy is completely different because you're essentially trying to get your thoughts validated by a group of strangers. And so it's like a really narcissistic form of therapy in a way, because it's like you want to be validated, but you also want to feel like you're better than everyone.
What is that experience like? What are the kind of the micro signals in the environment between what people are saying or how they're reacting or the energy that you're feeling that you take in as you're going through it? And how do you kind of balance getting, making the jokes that you came in with while also being present to that feedback and adjusting to that? What does that adjustment look like?
Yeah, I think that my process definitely has changed over time, and I've noticed a lot of change on it very recently in the past months and the past year and whatnot. I used to be very rigid about going up on stage with the exact verbiage I was going to say and very much following a script of the material that I had written. Now, 5 minutes even to some is a lot of material to do. And, you go to most clubs and comics are doing 10, 15 minutes. So just to distill it down to 5, I think that I go up there now and I rehearse my material enough to the point where I'll just go up with a little piece of paper in my pocket of the names of the bits that I'm going to do. A lot looser than it used to be. And I think that, especially as a performer, has helped me grow so much because I'm finding these new things that I'm doing every time I get on stage. And it's really interesting, like when my friends will come to my shows and they know my material so well because they've seen me do it so many times. But then when they come and now they are like seeing me do it in front of different people, they're like, oh, like you did this really great new thing on this bit. Like I hadn't seen that before. And I think that those moments are happening way more than they used to.
How do you get on your journey? How do you get yourself motivated to get up on stage and perform? And then how do you kind of navigate those kind of different aspects of what this experience is for you?
My journey specifically, it was such an epiphany moment because I was such a shy, introverted person for so long. And then I watched the Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary special when I was 14. And then the next day, actually right after it ended, I was like, I'm going to do that. I had this incredible self-realization of a path, right? Like I saw the yellow brick road in a way, and I was like, oh, like I have something that I can follow. And to me, following that thing was like pursuing something that I was genuinely so passionate about. And I think that I'm so blessed to have that, and to have that amazing sense of self-realization, and to have that comfort in doing the thing that I so very much want to do.
How would you characterize like what it is that you were getting out of it?
It's very different. I think it's very conditional depending on whether or not I have a real stinker. Because there have been some times where, you know, I've done 10 minutes, no laughs, and I get on that F train going home, and I say to myself, I think I should apply for a job at Ernst & Young. All right, I think the full 180's coming, Mom. But then I have this amazing moment sometimes where I'll get no laughs, but I'll be like, it's so interesting how I responded to that. And then I'll do my own sort of self-reflection.
What have you learned about life and about yourself through doing this that you feel like is valuable and helps you?
I think that my biggest thing was understanding the length of the process of becoming good at something. No one is good at something the first time they do it. Very rarely do we see that in any field, whether it be sports or entertainment or whatever. The biggest lesson I learned, and one that I'm still learning, is that it's all a process, and learning how to slow down.
What is it that you do to operate from that long-term view to bring yourself there, even when you're not there naturally? What does your practice look like to stay in that mindset? And when you're kind of not in that mindset, to bring yourself back?
I don't really know if I have a concrete answer. I think that maybe my mindset is tomorrow is a new day. I think that for a while, maybe this still happens sometimes. I think certainly less than it did, but sometimes I would soak in a bomb for like a few days and really be feeling it and have it be affecting me.
What can people utilize to get motivated, to basically have enough motivation to overcome that terror of what's worse than death, right? Like being on that stage and facing people and facing the music.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the one to be like, just get up and do it, you know, because I also am, you know, like I have friends that work in finance and whatnot, and I'll go and I'll hang out with their friends that are in finance, and they're like, yeah, like I've always kind of thought about doing it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so just do it. Just do it. Like the worst that can happen is that you bomb. It's not that deep. It is what it is. You just got to go up and do it.